This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. From the ledges to Cutter's Cove, it is 6 minutes. You wish to eavesdrop, Hastings? As you wish. We will listen to their conversation.
Sightseeing is all very well, and I like to do a place thoroughly, but a quiet spot by the seaside where I can just sit and do my knitting is so relaxing, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
And this is such a picturesque spot, quite out of the world and at the same time very comfortable and most exclusive in every way, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
We have heard all the... Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur. I hope I do not disturb you.
Why, of course not. He's not disturbing us, is he, Oakley?
No, darling.
You must be our newest addition. Mr. Hercule Poirot, the famous detective. You recall me telling you he would be joining us, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
I am Mrs. Carrie Gardner. This is my husband, Oakley.
Very pleased to make your acquaintances. Are you enjoying your stay on the island?
Very much. It's so peaceful and relaxing, so far from the cares of the world, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
This is an interesting spot.
Yes, isn't it? Not as much wind, I think, as the terrace above the bathing beach or over at Sanctuary Cove. Oh, look, Oakley. There goes Miss Brewster again. Can't think where she gets her energy.
What business are you in, Monsieur Gardner?
Oakley is retired, Mr. Poirot. He was manager and owner of the Lake District's best-known theatre company.
These days I travel and indulge my passion for collecting rare coins.
Enough of that. I'm sure Mr. Poirot isn't interested in old coins.
Our fellow guests seem most charming.
You think so? Some are, of course. Others, well, I wouldn't like to say, but I was telling Oakley just last evening that Stewart woman is paying quite too much attention to Mr. Redfern, wasn't I, Oakley?
Of course, having run a theatre, I'm well aware that actors aren't like us. They have different standards.
Lower standards.
Yes, darling.
And you should have seen Mr. Marshall and Miss Darnley laughing and joking yesterday. Everyone thought they'd just met, but apparently they are old friends.
I will leave you now. Eh bien, if you insist, we will eavesdrop yet again.
What a funny little Frenchman he is.
Frenchman?
It's hard to believe he could be the wonderful detective they say he is, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
A sturdy post. A sturdy post. What are you thinking, Hastings? Poirot, he does not climb up and down the ladders?
Hello! You haven't seen a tennis ball in the grass, have you? I had a lob go spectacularly astray.
No, monsieur. I am sorry.
You wouldn't be Hercule Poirot by any chance, would you?
I am Poirot, monsieur.
Kenneth Marshall. That was my wife, Arlena.
She is very charming, Madame Marshall. Hastings, if you embarrass me, we will cease the investigation at once.
My apologies, Poirot. I'll try to remember who I am.
Listen, Poirot. This is a bit of luck finding you here. Something rather distressing has happened. Since our arrival here on Monday, Arlena has received two, what I can only describe as threatening notes.
Do you have the notes?
Well, yes, here they are. Arlena thinks I destroyed them, but I thought I'd better not.
Very wise. One moment, please, while I examine them.
Arlena refuses to take them seriously. She says people are often jealous of her due to her success and her beauty, and it's no more than that. I'm not so sure.
You are right to be concerned. In my experience, Captain Marshall, the hatred to write such notes is one to take very seriously indeed.
Would you have a talk with Arlena and tell her that?
I will do as you ask. How did these arrive?
The first was simply shoved under her door. The second was found on her dressing table. Mr. Poirot, her door was locked.
When did Mrs. Marshall receive these?
That first note was found the morning after we arrived. That would have been August 20th. The second appeared yesterday. Knowing you are investigating has eased my mind enormously.
Captain Marshall, I will do what I can to assist you. But if I am to be successful, I must enjoy your wife's complete cooperation.
I hope you can succeed in convincing her of the gravity of the situation. If you'll excuse me, I have some letters to type.
He has some letters to type?
He seems unaware of the significance of what he has said. How many typewriters can there be on this island?
Seems more likely Miss Darnley's typewriter was borrowed to write the notes.
It is possible.
You knew there might be a real danger to Mrs. Marshall even then.
Yes, my friend. I could feel something in the wind. The way sailors can sense the approaching storm. It is an unusual wreck for a garden, that.
It's to keep the clay of the court smooth. And from the look of that clay, it's about time for a good rake. Bit of a low spot in the near ad-service court.
It is an unusual...
It's to keep the clay... I imagine this was quite a beautiful structure before it went to pot.
Yes, Hastings. Religion cannot be faulted for its aesthetic, at least. This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. From the monastery ruins to Cutter's Cove, it is 12 minutes.
Curious, isn't it? It was an oar, I believe, planted quite securely in the ground now. I can't shift it. I'm Stephen Lane.
Hercule Poirot.
Ah, the detective. Maybe you have a theory what it's for.
Without more evidence, a deduction is difficult.
Here you go, then. I found these near the edge of the cleared space. Chicken feathers, I believe. I think those stains are dried blood. Suggestive, don't you think?
Perhaps. Do you have a theory about this post and the clearing, Monsieur Lane?
I felt something the moment I arrived on this island, Mr. Poirot. It is especially strong here. I can only describe it as a feeling of evil. More than a feeling, it's almost a physical presence.
Yes, it is very romantic here. It is peaceful. The sun shines, the sea it is blue. But there is evil everywhere under the sun.
There's a quote from Ecclesiastes. Yea, Also, the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live. Nowadays, nobody believes in evil. Even with what is happening in Europe, they want to think that reason and common sense will prevail. But evil cannot be reasoned with, and it is real. It walks the earth.
What brings you to Seadrift Island, Monsieur Lane?
My health. I was the vicar of a church near Brixham. I became ill. I had to leave my church. I came here to heal among the historic churches and religious ruins of the area, like this old monastery. It dates back to the Middle Ages. The order was most known for producing a passable brandy, I believe, but they never flourished. I expect that was because of the site they chose.
What is wrong with this site?
It isn't the only Christian edifice erected on top of more ancient construction, as I'm sure you know. In this case, there was a Roman temple here, 500 years before the monks arrived. Unfortunately, it is believed it was a temple to Bacchus, a particularly nasty cult notable for debauchery and licentiousness.
Bacchus, eh? That might explain the decent brandy.
I was searching for evidence of the earlier temple when you arrived. I found an opening beneath one of the walls over there, leading down into the earth. But it's blocked by a sizable stone. I was hoping to use this post as a lever, but it's immovable.
What do you think of our fellow guests?
I haven't spent much time with them, I'm afraid. I've been poking around out here, mainly. If I could get some idea of the location of other nearby religious sites, I expect I'd be off to visit those. I think it would do me good after this place. Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling under the weather. These ruins take it quite out of me, I'm afraid. If you'll excuse me.
But of course. There is quite a passage down there. We will need something more than good intentions to shift this stone, however.
I say, that looks like one of those doors you find in old monasteries. What do you call them?
A monk's door, Hastings.
Tightly locked. And the door may be ancient, but that keyhole looks as if it had been recently used.
This post looks like it was once an oar.
But what is its purpose now?
This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove. From Sanctuary Cove to Cutter's Cove, it is 15 minutes. Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Hello.
I am Hercule Poirot, a fellow guest who has arrived only last night.
I'm Linda, Marshall. I'm here with my father and his wife.
What about the pile of brush interests you so?
It is just a pot of brush, isn't it?
You wish it were something else?
I was trying to make a blind so the Gilmores would come closer.
A hunter's blind?
I don't want to hunt them. They're wonderful creatures. I just want to study them.
I would offer my assistance, but Poirot knows nothing of blinds, I am afraid.
Wait, Poirot. That won't do. Did you make a blind for the girl, or didn't you?
That is to say, I might be able to construct one?
You just didn't want to admit you'd done any physical labor.
You know nothing about them, but you can build one.
Yes. Is it not strange how we can feel such contradictory notions sometimes?
Oh, those? I have them all the time. I'm a mass of contradictions.
Guillemots? The birds?
Yes. Do you know about them?
I cannot say I do.
Hold on, Poirot, I do.
Now let the child speak, Hastings.
Oh. Oh, rather.
They are really quite common. These are of the genus Urea algae. They live in great colonies. They look almost like penguins, don't they? They waddle along and bow to one another. And sometimes they purr, almost like kittens.
Good heavens, Poirot. I never thought of it before, but you know who they remind me of?
They are truly marvelous. They seem to like it here very much.
The government made it a sanctuary for them. That's what this place is called now. Sanctuary Cove.
What brings you to the Smuggler's Rest Hotel?
It was Arlena's idea. That's my stepmother.
Are you enjoying yourself?
No, I hate it. I don't know why we're here.
Ah well, the summer it is almost past. I think your school it will be starting again soon?
Miss Porter's? I suppose so. I wouldn't know.
Miss Porter's? Hastings, the name of this school is familiar to me. There is a newspaper account in my files. What do you think of your fellow guests?
Miss Darnley's nice, and Christine Redfern is too. But I hate her husband.
He is unkind to you?
No, it's my father I care about. He can't see it, but I can. I see what's happening.
It has been a pleasure, mademoiselle.
Can you really make her blind? I'm no good at it at all.
I will try.
Thank you.
Hastings, what have you gotten me into now?
Relax, old man. All we really need is some cord, a couple of sturdy posts, and something to anchor it all with. Tent stakes, for example.
Tent stakes? On an island with a perfectly good hotel. Why would anyone need tent stakes?
Oh, well, I see your point. Perfect. Now let me handle this, Poirot.
As you wish.
Not a bad blind, if I do say so myself.
Patrick, darling, you're such a child.
Man enough.
I see what you mean, old man. There is indeed a storm coming.